In this problem, we are being asked to make what's called a frequency polygon. And this is a type of graph where you have grouped data. So all of these data points you see here, each of them is going to fit into a group. There'll be some other data points in those groups with them. And then we make a graph of the groups of the data points. In this particular problem, it says here are shopping times in minutes for a sample of 19 shoppers at a particular clothing store. So somebody shopped for 26 minutes, somebody else shopped for 35, etc. It says draw a frequency polygon for these data using an initial class boundary of 20.5 and an ending class boundary of 45.5 and 5 classes of equal width. So what does all that mean? Well, you'll notice that these data points, let's see, the lowest one here is 21 and the highest one is 44. So this 20.5 and the 45.5, they're conveniently chosen so that all of our data is going to fit within those two endpoints. And we want to take this whole range from 20.5 to 45.5 and break it up into 5 classes of equal width. Well, 45.5 minus 20.5 is 25. If we divide that into 5 classes, 5 equal parts, we get 5. So our class width is going to be 5. And this is how that's going to go. You're going to have your first group of data points going from 20.5 up to 25.5. That's a width of 5. And your next group going up to 30.5. And your next group going up to 35.5. And then 40.5. And finally 45.5. So we have 5 classes, 5 groups with a width of 5 and the right starting and ending points. So now we just have to figure out how to distribute the data points into these classes. So I'm going to look first for everything between 20.5 and 25.5. So there's 23, there's 25, and there's 3 24s and a 21. So that looks like 6 data points. All 6 of those are going to go in there. And then we've got 25.5 to 30.5. So 26 would go in there. I'm going to actually cross these out that I've done already. So 26 and let's see, 27. We got 3 of those. And I think that's all. So that's 4 members of that class. We'll cross those out. And then we've got 30.5 to 35.5. So 35 would fit in there, so with a 31, oh shoot, I missed a 28 here. That's definitely going to go in the previous class, so let's up this to 5. And we've got, so 35 and 31 go in this next class, and then these other 31s, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's it. And now the class from 35.5 to 40.5. Looks like there's only one that would go in there. That's the 38. And then our last class, 40.5 to 45.5, would be these 2. So there'd be 2 in there. This is the data that I need to make my frequency polygon. And what we're going to do is we're going to graph the number, the frequency of these data points in each class on the vertical axis. On the horizontal axis, we're going to graph the midpoint of these classes. So what we need to do is find the midpoint of each of these classes. And the midpoint between 20.5 and 25.5, I'd add 2.5 to 20.5. I get 23. Midpoint here is 28, 33, 38, and 43. So with all of that, we can go ahead and make our graph. So I'm going to start by putting my midpoints down here. So there's 23, 28, 33, 38, 43. And then, our endpoints, we're going to have 0 on those. So I'll put 20.5, we'll estimate that about there. That's going to be 0. And our 45.5 about there, that's going to be 0 as well. And then we'll just put in a few numbers here. All right, so our first class with a midpoint of 23 has 6 members, so that gets a 6 there. Our next class has 5. Next one also has 5. And then we drop down to 1 and 2 for the last class. And now you just connect the dots. That is a frequency polygon.